Hey there everybody, welcome to our lesson for today. Today there is no special I can statement, we're just going to bring it all together with our rate and ratio review. So we're going to look at a few numbers from your assignment. I don't have a separate notes page, so we'll just use a few numbers from the assignment. So starting with number 1, then we'll also take a look at numbers 4, 6, and let's see, number 10. Alright, so number 1. It says Arturo can run 1 3/4 miles in 1/4 hour. What is his speed? What is his speed in miles per hour? So whenever you're not sure what to put on top, if it says something per something, this word in front of the word per is going to go on top, and the word after the word per is going to go on bottom. So that is not how you write an M. We're definitely going to put the miles on top, because that's before the word per. So let me draw a really big fraction thingy here because we're going to put some fractions in it, so I need lots of space. So we've got miles on top and we have hours on bottom. And that feels pretty normal, right? A lot of times we calculate miles per hour. So how many miles was it? Okay, looks like we have a mixed number here. We need to convert that to an improper fraction. So 4 times 1 is 4, and then we're going to add the 3. So 4 plus 3, that's 7, and we keep the 4 on the bottom. So 7/4 miles. What about the hours? It looks like that was 1/4, so we're going to put 1/4 on the bottom. All right, it's time for our keep, change, flip. So we're going to keep the 7/4. We're going to change division to multiplication. There it is. And we're going to flip this one. 4/1. Now you could go ahead and multiply it out and get 28/4 and then simplify from there. Or you could do some cross canceling first. 4 and 4 are both divisible by 4. When you divide them by 4, you just get a 1. So this kind of gets me an easier answer. 7 times 1 is 7, and then 1 on the bottom. Whether you do the 28/4 or the 7/1, you're going to get a final answer of 7. Now, what are you going to write for the units? You could write miles per hour. Sure, you can do that. You could write 7m/h for miles per hour. Or you could use kind of like the standard abbreviation, which is mph, 7 mph. All three of these are totally good. All right, let's take a look at number 4. So it says, the table shows the number of parts produced by a worker on an assembly line. Okay, so this is the number of parts they make here, and this is the number of hours here. What is the unit rate between parts and hours? So we want to figure out the number of parts per hour. So let's put parts on top and hours on bottom. Okay, so now the question is, we have a lot of different numbers here. So we have 24 parts per 4 hours, 36 parts per 6 hours, 42 parts per 7 hours, and 59 parts per 9 hours. You can choose any one of those that you want. I'm going to go with 24 parts per 4 hours. So I'm going to put 24 on top and 4 on bottom. And now all I have to do is simplify. Let's see, 24 divided by 4 is going to give me 6. You could say 6/1 if you want, or you can just say 6. That's getting kind of shiny there. There we go. 6 parts per hour. Per hour. Now it says verify your answer several ways. Okay, so to do that, how about I choose another one of these? I've already used this one, but let's do the 54/9, okay? So 59 parts are still going on top, and 9 hours. I wrote that wrong. This should be a 54. Let me try that again. 54 parts per 9 hours. Now let's see, if you divide both of those by 9, 54 divided by 9 gives you 6. So you're still getting the same answer here that you got here. So I'm going to write a check there. What if you did 42 divided by 7? Would that give you 6? What about 36 divided by 6? Would that give you 6? So this is how you verify your answer several different ways. Okay, let's look at number 6 really quick. Okay, so like up here, this table all referred to the same rate. It was all the same rate in terms of parts per hour by the same worker on the same assembly line, just at like different points in time, right? So this was all the same rate, but down here where we have the runners, there are going to be 3 different rates. There's going to be a rate for runner A, a rate for runner B, and a different rate for runner C. And the question you're answering is, which runner finished the race at the fastest average rate? So you're trying to figure out the fastest runner. So we need to figure out all three rates. So how are you going to do that? Well, just kind of like in miles per hour, miles is distance and hour is time. You want to put the distance on top and the time on the bottom. So how would you set this up for runner A with distance on top? You would do 5 kilometers on top, and the time on the bottom, that's 34 minutes on bottom. Okay, and then you just divide it out. So let's see, 5 divided by 34. Let me see what that is, because I do not know off the top of my head. 5 divided by 34 gives me 0.1. I'm going to go ahead and take that 7 and round that up to a 5, okay? 0.15 kilometers per minute. So this is the rate of runner A. So you're going to do the same thing with runner B. You're going to put those kilometers on top. It's going to be 10 kilometers. And then your minutes on bottom, 62 minutes. And that's going to equal some other rate. I'm going to let you figure that one out. And then you're going to do the same thing for runner C. You'll put the kilometers on top and the minutes on bottom. And you'll divide that out. And once you have those three numbers, figure out which number is the fastest. In other words, the biggest number, because that's the most kilometers per minute. And whichever runner has the biggest number, you're going to write their name, or their letter, I suppose, right here. All right, so I'm going to let you do that. Let's take a look, like I said, at number 10. Actually, as we go through, just I wanted to point something out really quick. In number 2, it says miles per hour. So you're going to put miles on top and hours on bottom, right? What about number 3? It says rain per hour. So what goes on top? It's going to be rain on top and hours on bottom, right? What about plant growth per year? So that's going to be growth on top, years on bottom. What about down here where you have money? Anytime there's money, we're always going to put the money on top, okay? Cool. What about number 8? Let's see. Sorry. How many square feet can she paint per hour? So we're talking about square feet per hour. So square feet on top, hours on bottom. What about here? This is speed. So you're going to want miles per hour. There we go. So miles go on top, hours on bottom. We'll come back to number 10. Let's just keep looking. Here we have Paula making pillows, and we have fabric. Oh, here it is with money. So anytime there's money, put your money on top and your yards on bottom, okay? And then here, it's another miles per hour problem, so you know what to do. Miles on top, hours on bottom. Okay, now that we've talked through that, let's pop back to number 10. We have all these different dish soaps, and we need to know which brand costs the least per ounce, okay? Once we answer that, we're going to figure out which brand gives you the most ounces for $1. So we're kind of solving this problem 2 different ways. And it's a complex problem because how many different brands do you have? You have lots of suds, you have Bright Wash, Spotless Shine, and Lemon Lather. So you have 4 different, brands to compute. So first of all, let's do part A. Which one costs the least per ounce? So this is money per ounce. What it is cost per ounce. So you're going to put your money on top just like we always do, right? The exception to that rule is coming up in just a second, by the way, so stay tuned. So we're going to put money on top, 98 cents. So I'm going to put 0.98 on top, and I'm going to put 8 ounces on the bottom. And then when I divide that out, let's see, what was it? 0.98 divided by 8. So the cost per ounce for the Lots of Suds brand is going to be 0.1225. That's only 4 decimal places. I'm going to just keep them all just for comparison's sake, because sometimes these numbers get really close to each other. Okay, so for Bright Wash, what are you going to do? For this one, you're going to do 1.29. That's the cost, and you're going to divide it by the number of ounces, which was 12. And let's go ahead and do that. 1.29 divided by 12 gives us 0.1075. 1075. Okay, so that's the process for this. Make sure you do Spotless Shine and you do the Lemon Lather. Figure out which one is the cheapest, so that's going to be the lowest number, and write the name of it here. And then make sure to include its cost per ounce. So that would be this number that you're getting out here. Whatever the lowest one is, that's the one you're writing. Now what about part B? Let me switch colors really quick because this is all going to kind of start to smush in together, I'm afraid. So for part B, which brand gives you the most ounces for $1? That's kind of like saying the most ounces per dollar, right? Are you hearing that? Sounds like ounces need to be on top and dollars on the bottom. This is what I was talking about when I said the exception to the rule. So in this one problem, because it specifically says how many ounces per dollar, you're going to do ounces on top and dollars on the bottom. So let's set a couple of those up. Don't worry about all this. That was for the first part. So for lots of suds, we're going to do ounces on top. So that would be 8 ounces and 0.98 cents, $0.98, whatever. And then we're going to divide. 8 divided by 0.98, and that's going to give us 8.16. So 8.16 ounces per dollar. All right, and you're just going to keep doing the other 4 the same way. It's basically going to be just flipping the fractions, the ratios, upside down and dividing. And then to answer this question, they're asking you which brand gives you the most ounces for $1? So whichever one of these numbers, you'll have 4 of them. Whichever one of them is the highest, that's the brand that gives you the most for $1. And then just write what that what the ounces amount is there. Okay, thanks so much for watching. If you have questions, as always, let me know and I'll see you next time. Bye.